A crime alert for shoppers. Another person has been followed and then robbed.
And this case is proof that the thieves will go to great lengths and also great distances to trail their targets. This victim was tracked from Houston all the way down to the Alvin area. Courtney Zabowski's live at a business in the Galleria area tonight where all of this started. Courtney?
Chris and Dominique, we've been hearing about these crimes a lot lately. What's different about this one is the distance, 45 miles from here at this Houston jewelry store all the way to Brazoria County. It was still light outside around 7 Saturday evening when investigators say Brazoria County's Pine Colony neighborhood became the scene of a crime.
There's a lot of people out here. There's a party next door.
But that didn't deter the three suspects from robbing a man in his front yard.
They ran out.
So listen. This is something that's going on that not a lot of people are talking about, but it's a public safety thing that a lot of people aren't talking about. But you guys need to be aware of this. They're putting trackers on your car now and following you to your house or to your destination and then robbing you. You go to the Louis Vuitton store, the jewelry store, any like shopping spree, you're out in the mall, they're watching you. And you see who's doing it. It's very sophisticated though. This is sophisticated crime. Now the last part of it, the climax of it is brutal, but everything up into it is very sophisticated. We'll get into that in a little bit. But these are still homies. These are still goonies. So even though there's a sophistication to this crime, at the end, you're dealing with somebody who will kill you behind over $2 or nothing.
It was still light outside around 7 Saturday evening when investigators say Brazoria County's Pine Colony neighborhood became the scene of a crime.
There's a lot of people out here. There's a party next door.
But that didn't deter the three suspects from robbing a man in his front yard.
They ran at him from the back. They had a gun pointing at him.
The victim told investigators that he had driven all the way from Johnny Dang, which is about 50 miles away on Richmond near the Galleria.
He felt like he was being followed from all the way to Johnny Dang.
Investigators say when the victim pulled into his driveway, he was ambushed by the men. There was a struggle. One fired a single shot, which hit this off-road vehicle. The suspects took off. The victim called 911. Brazoria County Sheriff's deputies say the suspects led them on a chase about 5 miles away to Highway 6 and FM 1128. That's where they say one suspect, this man, Davion Wilson, got out of the car. He's now in jail, charged with aggravated robbery, and admitted he followed the victim from Johnny Dang. The two.
So once again, black community and Hispanic community, Latinos ain't gonna put up with this stuff for too long. I can tell you that much. But once again, black community, when the savages, the Goonies get caught, they talk. When they shoot up a cookout and kill all type of people, wound all type of people, and everybody in the hood know this, nobody talk. Because it's a code, man, you know? Code of the streets. Well, how come this dude and so many dudes that we cover in these stories, how come they ain't got no code of the streets when they get in interrogation? And I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what you do, you could shoot the president. They're going to ask you, you want to make a statement? You be like, no. And they're going to take you to your cell. All my G's, all my niggas that been in the street or did dabbled and did nothing. Can you please give me your opinion on this statement? You could shoot the president. get away. The cops get on your tail. They chase you down, take you to the station. They're going to ask you, do you want to make a statement? You say no, they're going to take you straight to your cell. Is they going to tie you up and arms up in the air and beat you and torture you and rip your fingernails off and take lighters to your nipples and all type of crazy stuff? But they just going to take you to your cell if you say you don't want to give no statement. They may ask you sure, or give you say something like that, like, well, if you got co-defendants, they may say, well, here's your chance to give your side of the story, because if they don't give theirs, if you allow them to give their side of the story, they're the only ones. But if you just be like, nah, I want a lawyer, they'll take you straight to the cell, and that's the last you're gonna see of them cops. You going to jail, and then you going to through the processes, and you gonna go see the magistrate or the judge, and then you gonna go through another thing. You gonna go to jail. And them cops going to be back on the street patrolling, or they're going to go right up the report, then they're going to go back on the street and patrol. And they ain't going to think about your case again until they come to court to testify in your trial, if they do testify in your trial. If you have a trial. This ain't the movies, man. You ain't got to give up. There ain't nobody going to come grab you. I know you did it. Give me answers. Nah, it ain't like that in real life. In real life, you got to ask to make a statement. Half the damn time. You got to, can I speak to the detective? You got to bang on the bars. I want to speak to the detective. They arrest you and they throw you in the cell. They might not even ask you, do you want to make a statement? I've been arrested so many times, man, and I know so many dudes that have been arrested so many times, and I'm not trying to sit here and act like a thug or nothing, but I do have to speak on that part. When the Goonies, they will work, they will cooperate, but the people in the community, a little kid get killed. High school graduate, nigga just graduated, about to go to play ball in North Carolina and shit, UNC. He get killed at a damn party or something, and then this nigga did it, and nobody want to say nothing. But when they get caught, they tell them.
Brazoria County Sheriff's deputies say the suspects led them on a chase about 5 miles away to Highway 6 and FM 1128. That's where they say one suspect, this man, Davion Wilson, got out of the car. He's now in jail, charged with aggravated robbery, and admitted he followed the victim from Johnny Dang. The two other suspects took off in this black Dodge Charger, which they crashed into a ditch before running off. And Brazoria County deputies still looking for two suspects. We have been in touch with management here at Johnny Dang. Johnny Dang will be reviewing the surveillance video tomorrow. We're live near the Galleria. Courtney Zabowski, KPRC 2 News.
Okay, so this is also in Orlando. Not the last one was Houston. This is Orlando a few days ago, May 6th. Murder suspect used iPhone attached to car to track man he saw making pricey purchases. This is the fella who did it. Okay, you're shopping in the mall, you see this guy, you go to the next store, you see this guy again, he just happens to be everywhere, he's not looking at you, he's always doing something else, but he's always around. You're walking to the parking lot. Oh, he just happened to be walking to the parking lot too. A murder suspect saw a man buying expensive items at the mall at Millennia and attached an iPhone to the victim's car so he could track and rob him, according to the Orlando Police Department. An 11-page arrest warrant was released Thursday detailing how police came to identify Derek Maurice Herlone as a suspect in the shooting death of 32-year-old Jacarius Rozier. And that's old Jacarius right there, who ended up dead behind this whole shenanigans. So Jacarius was killed at a party in North Higher Avenue in the Thornton Park area on February 19th. Though Rozier was the one killed, police say they believe Herlong was actually targeting another man who was also at the party. That man said that earlier in the day he'd gone to mall at Millennia and purchased expensive items at Gucci and Louis Vuitton. Remember I told you about the type of brothers that be lurking around Gucci and Louis Vuitton stores? I told you that yesterday. I probably was like, man, that don't make no sense. That don't make... Listen. Just listen, man. I'm telling you. Danger lurking at the Louis Vuitton, the Versace store, the Gucci store. That is dangerous. It didn't used to be like that. Now it is. Because of you know who. That man, the other guy, not Jacaris Rozier, said that earlier in the day he'd gone to the mall at Millennia and purchased expensive items at the Gucci and Louis Vuitton store. After his shopping trip, he put his purchases in his trunk, drove from the mall to the gas station for a 5-minute stop, then went to the party in Thornton Park. As he was entering the party, 2 masked men with guns forced their way inside, ordered everyone to the ground, and demanded their valuables. That's Jacarius again. Think about that. You show up at a party, and 2 masked men come behind you and make everybody in the party get on the ground. And we don't know how many people at the party. Just a party. Wow. How about a grand entrance? Golly, man. Records show the culprits pointed at the man who had been shopping and demanded the keys to his Lexus, while also stealing a Christian Dior bag and gold chain and wallet from him. Police said one of the masked men fired a shot during the home invasion, killing Rozier. Though the culprits took the Lexus with the mall at Millennia purchases inside of it, the vehicle was located a short time later, at which time a tow truck driver noticed that a nylon bag with magnets had been affixed to the undercarriage, and inside the bag was an iPhone. So when the guy stopped at the gas station, these fools came out and put a nylon bag with magnets underneath his car, just like in the movies. Remember MacGyver and shit? Remember what was the shows we used to watch in the 80s? They would always put something under your car or something. Hunter, Magnum PI, Spencer for Hire. Them all them 80s shows. Put something under your car, tracky. Now, ordinary brothers can do that. It ain't just Hollywood crap. Police said the phone that was inside the nylon bag that was placed under this guy's car was nearly fully charged and appeared to have been recently purchased, since the only text message on it was an activation message. Detectives determined that it had been placed on the vehicle to be used as a tracking device. As they investigated, detectives said they determined that Herlong had recently stolen a purse and ID from a woman as she was working at Panda Express, and whoever purchased the iPhone used that woman's stolen identity as the name on the account. So some ladies busting her hump to make ends meet at Panda Express, and this fool comes along and steals her purse and uses her identification card to get a phone. So now the phone's in her name, so can't be tracked to him, for all intents and purposes. At least that's the thought. That woman was arrested on a murder charge until authorities located footage that showed her purse and her ID being stolen while she was at work. So, had there not been a camera that showed this fool stealing her purse while she's working, this woman would be in jail on murder charges. Just going around ruining lives, man. I know this woman was horrified when the police showed up and dragged her off to jail and charged her with murder. And she's so, I didn't do it. And they're like, yeah, that's what everybody says. Sure. You just stay right here for 1 minute. We'll come get you when it's time to go to court. Thank God that was those security cameras, because she would have been in deep doo-doo. Records show investigators were also able to track down surveillance footage from Mall at Millennia that showed Herlong was with another man and a woman at the mall. Saw the carjacking victim with his expensive purchases and followed him to the parking lot. An arrest warrant didn't provide the names of the man and the woman Herlong was reportedly with at the mall. Herlong was arrested at his home on February 28th on an unrelated charge, and a short time later, a search warrant was executed there. Police said they found a receipt for an iPhone. World's dumbest criminals. They should just call it criminals. They shouldn't even call it world's dumbest criminals. They should just call it criminals. Very rarely do these guys cover their tracks, regardless of race. Police said they found a receipt for an iPhone in the name of the woman whose purse was stolen at Panda Express, the Christian Dior messenger bag the Mall at Millennia victim was wearing at the time of the home invasion, and some of the items he'd purchased that day. Records show Herlong's Mercedes was also searched, and authorities found an AK-47 style rifle that matched the description of the one used in the fatal shooting. Herlong is facing charges of home invasion robbery with a mask and firearm, first-degree murder with a firearm, carjacking with a firearm. Where's the murder charge? Oh, yeah, first-degree murder with a firearm. Okay. When you're going out buying pricey items, pricey things, just be careful. Just notice who's around you. I'm not saying don't go shopping, because it's not going to happen to every single person that goes shopping. But be aware. If you see somebody lurking around you like that, I don't know what you do. Do you call the police? Or do you just be like, do you not buy stuff? Because then, I don't know what you do in that situation. You return the stuff. See, I returned it, motherfucker. I see y'all over there in the cut looking at me. I returned it. Now they're going to try to rob you for the money. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know what you do in this situation. I got to think about it a little bit.
Been a routine fender bender until one of those involved pulled out a gun. New video this morning shows what happened in Brooklyn on the 9th of April. Police say a 53-year-old driver was at a stoplight on Palmetto Street in Bushwick when the vehicle in front of him went into reverse and hit his front bumper. When the driver tried to exchange information, the man in that colliding vehicle instead pulled out a gun and then fired it in his direction. The driver was not struck. The gunman fled, driving a white Honda sedan. Police hope that someone can help identify him.
Someone standing there recording it with a cell phone. You think this fool cares? I mean, I didn't come up in this generation. I was born in the 70s, 78. I came up in the 80s and the 90s. I could just imagine coming up where cell phones have always been around. Cell phone is this iteration of cell phones. I'm not talking about brick phones. I'm talking about screens you can do stuff with. It's basically a state-of-the-art computer. Like I do my entire channel from my phone. Like that type of phone has been around your entire life. So seeing someone stand there record you just means nothing to you. You still shoot at a guy. Now if the bullet hits the guy and kills him, now you just killed somebody. Like they just don't. Something's wrong. And if you have footage, remember, send me the stuff from the white people. The video I did like last week with the white guy broke into people's house and killed the two women, the horror story type incident in Florida. I found that. You guys I went and found that. I scoured the net every day looking for white people doing stuff like this, brazen public stuff, you know. Don't send me nothing to some white guy that came home and killed his wife and shit after argument. I'm talking about this type of stuff. Send me this type of stuff, white people doing this type of stuff. Send me brown people doing this type of stuff. Send me Asians.
It is the kind of video that makes you furious. An armed robber is seen attacking a helpless business owner who's just trying to make a living.
Yeah, tonight, the 64-year-old victim is talking to us about what happened and hoping this video leads to an arrest. Grace White has more on the surveillance video, and we want to tell you and warn you, the video's graphic. Grace?
The only good thing about this business owner says he was alone. His wife normally works with him. They've been in business in the area for more than 20 years and have had break-ins, but nothing like this.
Considering what happened to me, I consider myself blessed.
The video is hard to watch and even harder for Oscar Radape to share with his family.
It was more difficult for me to have my family to go through that experience.
On Tuesday morning, he was in his office in South Houston checking email. He runs a car wash on Telephone Road and sells used cars on the side. There was a knock at the door. He thought it was a customer. The man asked about the price of a car, but then it quickly turned.
He reached it and he pulled the gun right on my head.
Wow. Now this guy can't let this experience change him at all. Every time he sees a black man who appears to be wanting to do business, he can't have in the back of his mind that is this guy going to rob him. Well, that's unconscious racism. We don't allow for people to be scarred. This would scar you. A guy comes in, you're at your business. A guy comes in talking about he wants to do business. A big old black dude too. This is a guy 6 feet. 250, 240. And next thing you know, he got a gun to your head. A big gun to your head. And you know he means business. But you can't, and then you live in a city where all the suspects look like him. So that's the part that I'm getting to. You have to understand. You live in a city where all the suspects look like him. Well, not all, 90%. All the suspects are from his same racial category. This scars people, man. This creates racism. This is why when somebody sees me, now I come in, I want to do business. After he gets out the hospital and after he opens back up, I want to do business. I come knocking on the door. And I'm feeling some kind of tension, some kind of heat. Well, he don't know what's about to happen.
On Tuesday morning, he was in his office in South Houston checking email. He runs a car wash on Telephone Road and sells used cars on the side. There was a knock at the door. He thought it was a customer. The man asked about the price of a car, but then it quickly turned.
He reached it and he pulled the gun right on my head.
But from the surveillance video released by Houston police, you can see the beating doesn't stop there.
He got a crowbar. He started hitting me as many times. So I'm going like this, trying not to protect my head.
He was tied up and gagged while the armed robber ransacked his office looking for cash.
For a moment, I thought I'm dead because for a moment I was not feeling much.
Eventually, the suspect left with Garadape's wallet and cell phone. He broke free and ran next door to ask someone to call 911. Garadape hopes the video will help catch the guy before he does it again.
We could blame it for the COVID-19. We could call it on poverty in the air. Whatever it is, it does not lessen the pain and suffering that the victims got.
He's already given the guy an excuse. He's already been indoctrinated. COVID-19, poverty. Boy, us Wakandans, we give poor people a bad name. Because there's poor people all over the world, man. And poor in America just means you don't have everything you want. Poor in America is like rich in other countries. Like your apartment, you ever been to another country and stuff? And you stand like, you think you stand, they take you to somewhere that's supposed to be like fancy or upscale. And it's like a regular rinky-dink apartment in any hood in your city. But it's supposed to be a upscale place. Black folk act like they got dirt roads and open sewers in their neighborhood or something. Like rolling blackouts or something. Like African Americans be wildin', man. Like it's poor. It's way more poor people all over the world that don't be. This whole notion that being poor makes you a criminal is like it's a valid excuse. Even more so, not only does it make you a criminal, but it's a valid excuse for criminality. It's starting to get on my nerves, man. Criminality is criminality. Yes, some crime is poverty-based. But this level of crime that we're seeing in America from this one specific group has more to do with criminality than it does with poverty. This is stuff these people want to do. There's no trigger, there's no force pulling them towards this. It's part of the culture.
Beverly Hills police say that they have caught the man responsible for more than 30 burglaries in the LA area, and he had an interesting disguise. Investigators say he used this full-face rubber mask during the crimes. These are surveillance images taken from some of those burglaries. Detectives say the man's mouth was always seen open on security video, and now they know it was the realistic-looking mask. So police are working to see if he is linked to any more robberies.
Interesting.
So here's the brother, man. Here's Screech. Here's the brother, man. Oh my God. If And I remember a couple years ago when this happened, a white guy had a mask like this, and he did a robbery or something, but it was a black mask. It was a white guy, and he was wearing a mask of a black guy face. And within one day of that hitting the wire, it was 100 videos talking about how this is really what's happening in Black America. This explains the crime in Black America. And this was like 2019. Black folks was making videos left and right. See, I told you it was white people coming in our neighborhoods committing crime.
We show you surveillance photos like these all the time, and maybe you recognize the person in the video, but your eyes can deceive you even about your own child.
Yeah, that's really true. And tonight, we actually show you a stunning local case that will make you scratch your head a little bit and wonder if what you just saw was indeed real.
And it also illuminates what prosecutors say is a real problem. Eyewitness accounts. They say they're so unreliable, they may just be the worst kind of evidence. In 2010, he held up multiple tri-state banks, and the surveillance video hit probably every newscast in Cincinnati.
It's something you would see in a Hollywood movie. I don't think any of us has seen anybody do anything like this. Talks about killing cops.
This is the bank robber.
We believe to be an African-American male.
Hamilton County prosecutor Joe Dieter says people were convinced they knew this guy.
We had it on video.
They pointed at the same guy, the same house. They were sure it was this man.
We put out a Crime Stoppers tip, and we got about 5 or 6, 7 phone calls. I know that guy. He lives on this street. He lives in this particular house. And when the detectives went to that house, they knocked on the door. His mom answered it. She said, "I know why you're here. I just saw on television my son robbing a bank."
This is that woman's son. Take a look. He looks incredibly like the guy in the surveillance video. Police took the son, whose identity we were not given, into custody. Then they got a call from another woman who said they had the wrong guy, that it was her boyfriend who robbed the bank, and this is her boyfriend, Conrad Zerdiak.
Actual perpetrator was white as could be. He had bought a theatrical mask from Beverly Hills, which cost a few $1,000s, and it's very lifelike, and he had it on, and it looks like the guy they called Crime Stoppers about.
I mean, his mom said.
His mother said it.
He did it.
He did it. It looked just like her son.
Sunglasses covered Zerdiak's blue eyes. Gloves covered his hands.
That just tells you don't believe what you see all the time, because you could be dead wrong.
Evidence.
I would consider identification as one piece of evidence. It should never be the only piece of evidence.
Well, Conrad Zerdiak will be in prison for that robbery and other robberies until 2035. And we want to show you something. The prosecutor let us borrow this. This is the mask used in that crime. It has been sitting at my desk now for about a week, freaking everyone out.
The whole newsroom's been
yeah, I
talking
mean,
about
it's unbelievably lifelike. And the poor guy who just happened to look like it did nothing wrong. Right. Absolutely nothing wrong. But this thing, you can look them up. You can buy them out several $100s,
Right.
thousands
And there
of
are
dollars.
several cases actually across the country where it is thought that people are using these types of masks,
Hollywood masks,
to get away with crimes. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
really, really
I'll
remarkable.
attest to the creepy part. I'll
It
tell you
does.
that.
Sure is.
Very
But
realistic.
it does also
Yeah.
question, like,
Racist. What you mean creepy? Why she keep patting that black mask on the head? Goddamn racist. Let a white person try to say that now. Try to say, oh, this explains all the white crime. This explains even the black people commit 75% of the violent crime in this country. And you saying that we commit a portion of the 25% that's left over. I would like to, suggest that it may be black people wearing white textured masks that are doing that. And my race is not even doing the portion that you're blaming us for. That white guy couldn't say that. Let one white person say that. It only had to be a white person that's respected. It could be any white person. It could be Sal, who makes a living pushing carts at the grocery store. And we'll be talking about that on Good Morning America, in the Today Show, and CNN, and how racists are trying to accuse black people of something they didn't do. And how Trump, this is part of Trump's agenda. But here we have a black man who done 30 robberies dressed up as a white man. And linked even more. And guess what? That brother, whose name they won't put in the story, he's out on bond. He's out already. That brother's on the streets, yeah. The man was free on bond Friday morning. A search of his Inglewood home turned up additional items that linked him to the burglaries. Linked to 30 plus burglaries across the LA area. So the LA cops thought, well, goddamn, there's a white guy out here terrorizing LA. That's odd. Most of the suspects are black. This is a deviation. I know the black cops is happy too. They're like, see, look, because when you're a cop, you're a news reporter, you anything where you're dealing with crime, and you black, and you're in a multiracial environment, like you're a police officer, you're a politician or whatever, and you're dealing with crime. The elephant in the room is always that, goddamn, all the criminals is black. So when you get this guy...
Beverly Hills police say that they have caught the man responsible for more than 30 burglaries in the LA area, and he had an interesting disguise. Investigators say he used this full-face rubber mask during the crimes. These are surveillance images taken from some of those burglaries. Detectives say the man's mouth was always seen open on security video, and now they know it was the realistic-looking mask. So police are working to see if he is linked to any more robberies.
Interesting.
Could you imagine if a sister was doing that story about a white guy? Who wore a black mask and did 30 robberies? Oh my Lord. A sister doing that same story about a white guy linked to 30 robberies dressed up in a black mask. She would have had smoke coming out of her ears. She would have had I gotta stop. I gotta do an editorial. This is what's wrong with America. Our brothers, my brothers. She'd be talking about my kings, and this is why this is so sad, because it makes us look like my brothers are out here, and this is what makes them get killed by cops, and this is why cops kill our brothers all the time, because they see us, because this is she would have linked it to, she would have found its way eventually back to Trump, but during the meandering, her circuitous route back to Trump, she would have Oh my God, it would have been everything. I can't believe that they did. And this is why black men are profiled. And this is why that sergeant in Virginia, even when you're a lieutenant, you can't, a traffic stop can turn fatal. You be pepper sprayed by Ahmaud Arbery. How many more crimes we need to go and look back at every crime that was ever committed? No, better yet, we can just assume, just scratch it, start over, start this crime scoreboard over. Niggas would be wanting to start alright, cool. We start from today. All those old crime stats is painted because it is one. Because there's one case of this white man wore his black mask. Wow. I'm mad this brother's 30, man. They say black don't crack, man. This brother 30. You mean to tell me this brother's 30? This brother look like he's 75 years old, man. This brother look like his name should be Cleotis or some shit. His first name should be Armstrong. Or Fortwith. Haverford. That's his first name. His first name is Billingsley. Billingsley Smith. Wow. White community, y'all gonna let this white community, y'all gonna let this ride, man. Y'all gonna let this shit ride, man. Oh my God. 30 robberies. Dressed up as a white boy. And if it's 30, then it's 50. Cause you know how that go. As they uncover, they gonna find more and more. And then they gonna find other people do. Wow. Get in the comment section, man. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.